So this afternoon, I'd just like to explain kind of who I am and what we do as a company. So I'm, Zoe Frogbrook. I'm Head of Environment and Sustainability at Northumbrian Water. What we do as an organisation is really, as you're probably all aware, the kind of the giveaways in the name, is that we provide water and wastewater services in the northeast of England as Northumbrian Water. But strangely, even as Northumbrian Water, we also provide water in the south. And that's in the southeast. It's a water-only service that we provide to Essex and Suffolk Water. What I'll be talking to you about this afternoon is really about the north, but I just wanted to kind of to let you know we do have a broader remit. But caring for the environment is really at the heart of the purpose at Northumbrian Water. And the purpose is shown on the slide here on the right. And we're really proud of our record on this, and it's something we really are very passionate about. And as a water and a wastewater operator, we take water from the environment, we treat it to the highest standards to arrive at customers' taps, and we then take away that wastewater and treat it to the highest standards before returning it back to the environment. But our care and respect for the environment goes far beyond any regulatory requirements. We work constantly to protect and enhance coasts, rivers and watercourses in all areas of our operations. And the next few slides I'll talk through will kind of illustrate how as a company we are doing that. So in the grand scheme of things in the water industry, we're a relatively small landowner. We own about 8,000 hectares, but unsurprisingly, quite a bit of that is water. So about 4,000 of that hectares is open water and 4,000 is land. And although a lot of that is used for our operational activities, at the moment, 40% is in some form of conservation management. So that might include direct management by ourselves, with conservation partners, and you'll hear me come back to that, or in environmental stewardship schemes. So we're already making kind of quite a significant contribution to the target set out by the government of having 30% of land and ocean by 2030 in a protected state, the 30 by 30 target. But we don't look at this land in isolation, and I mentioned kind of how I'd come back to the partnerships, and we really do have a really strong record of working in partnerships, both on our key sites that we own, and also in the wider catchments, where we really recognise the importance of catchment resilience. We've got several partnerships with the wildlife trusts. I think many of you here today have got partnerships with us, but just to kind of highlight the most recent addition, being a full-time conservation officer to help manage biodiversity across our sites in the Tees area. So it's great to have kind of expanding partnerships all the time. And the photos up here just show you some examples of that, and I'll just kind of touch on that photo on the right, which is taken from the Wilder Coast project, which is being led by Tees Valley Wildlife Trust to support coast and marine wildlife. But through a Northumbrian Water scheme called Blue Spaces, we've supported improvements to around 9 kilometres, trying to make the water environment accessible to people. We've heard a lot this morning about connecting communities to nature, and that's really what our Blue Spaces scheme is trying to do. We've got a very ambitious target to improve 250 kilometres in this way, and to do that by 2025, and we are on track to do that. We're almost at the target already, just a few kilometres left to go, which is a really great success of showing how we can connect people to nature. You might also be interested to know, and it was mentioned this morning about kind of the natural capital account. And at Northumbrian Water, we've got a corporate natural capital account, and we're the first water company to do that. And that really helps us understand the value that comes from the way in which we manage that land, both for the business and for the wider society. And that's really key. Benefits such as air quality, carbon sequestration, and also the well-being benefits that you get from visiting nature at sites. So that's just a bit about kind of how we are looking at sort of the nature conservation and creating that thriving nature. But we are supporting nature in other ways, and there was a workshop this afternoon which kind of looked at this, and it's looking at how we can use nature-based solutions, looking at our catchment activities and in combination with nature-based solutions. And over the years, we've really been taking a leading approach with this, and it's not something new, which is something kind of we talked about a little bit in the workshop. And back in 2005, which is kind of 13 years ago now, it's amazing how quickly time goes. But we worked in partnership with the Coal Authority, looking at a combined treatment of mine water and treated sewage effluent at Lamsley. And that's what you can see the picture on the left here. And to do that, we created a series of 9 designed reed beds covering 5.5 hectares. It was quite a novel thing we did at the time, and it was the largest man-made wetland in the UK when we constructed it. And it's really showing kind of the benefits of this kind of combining this process and using nature-based solutions and the biodiversity benefits you get from that. And then the photo on the right is another example, a bit more recent, and this was an award-winning bit of work at Killingworth and Long Benton, which we delivered in partnership with North Tyneside Council and the Environment Agency, and this was about reducing flood risk. With this example, we reduced flood risk for 3,500 homes, and we did it by improving water quality, but also by providing amenity and biodiversity value through the creation of surface water storage areas, which you can see here up on the right. So they're ones that we've done. We're constantly kind of working in this space, and a more recent one is a project that's currently in development at Low Wadsworth, and that's our integrated constructed wetland. And this is a new project for us, and it will be kind of the first time we've really put one of these in at scale, and we're really excited to get this developed and to see and to monitor how that works, so we can kind of inform future designs for this going forward. But it's not just about kind of these type of nature-based solutions. I mentioned some of the catchment work as well. We've also had quite a long involvement in peat restoration. I was at the second workshop on this afternoon. It was looking at the North York moors and the impact that peat might have on water quality. So we've got an invested interest in restoring peat to help with that water quality angle. So we've been working in partnership in the Upper Tees to really restore the blanket bog, obviously to help improve water quality, but it has massive carbon and biodiversity benefits as well. So that's what we have been doing. I just wanted to move on about what we're going to be doing for the future, because that's really what we were trying to do in this session, was to look ahead. So we've recently set out our 25-year strategy, which is now out for consultation, if anyone is interested to have a look. And we'll be taking the responses from that and then publishing our final strategy in October. And as part of that final strategy, that will also include an environment strategy, which will kind of form a key part of that. And these are long-term documents that will really set out our ambition and our commitment for the environment, which is really wanting to restore and regenerate our natural environment. We as a water company depend on that, and we want to do everything that we can to restore and regenerate it. And we are already pushing the boundaries about what we like to do. I mentioned some of the award-winning things that we've done, but we really are going forward, really pushing things as far as we can. And I'll give you just 2 examples of that. One is how we're going to be using nature-based solutions to meet the Water Framework Directive commitments around phosphorus. So on this, rather than just looking at what we would class as end-of-pipe solutions, we're looking at catchment solutions in 17 water bodies, in the Middle Tees, the Leven and the Skern, as well as doing some of those end-of-pipes. This includes kind of a whole range of activities, but things like working with agriculture, supporting agriculture advice, looking at other sources like private sewage discharges and septic tanks, and then looking at more general measures such as catchment management measures and river restoration. And then the other one I would like to mention is the key role that we're having in supporting the Tees Valley region with the nutrient neutrality. And this is the image that you can see here on the right. Now, I apologise you can't see the details, but I'll kind of talk you through a little bit around this. So with this, end-of-pipe work will be supporting this, but we're really wanting to drive the catchment and nature-based solutions to do more for this protected area. Some of the options include restoration of seagrass, of the seabed itself. We've heard this morning about the benefits from oysters that oysters can bring, and we're incorporating how we can use oysters in this as part of the solution, as well as some of the more kind of traditional things like agricultural interventions and constructed wetlands. So we really are trying to expand, and you can see here kind of on the image, all of those shaded areas show where we might be doing, where we're looking at doing those nature-based solutions. So it's not just looking at the end of the pipe solution, we will be doing that, but we will also be expanding out. And it's only by doing those nature-based solutions that we'll be able to get that favourable status. So that's why we're doing this. We're really wanting to push things and to get favourable status in that area. These solutions will remove much greater quantities of nutrients. They'll help create and protect protected habitat features. They'll really kind of help sequester carbon as well. Now, a key thing in helping us do this, and I know I mentioned partnerships before, but we've recently created what we're calling, at the moment, although we're up for better names, the North East Catchment Hub. And this is quite a key strategic partnership between ourselves and the Rivers Trust. And it's a collaboration which really is trying to aim to increase the capacity and capability for integrated catchment management. And I think for me that is key. We need to look at the whole catchment, and we need to look at all of the potential problems and the solutions that we can work at a catchment scale. So that's hopefully giving you kind of some indication of what we've been doing and what we are doing. But as I stand here today, at the very end of June, it's almost July, it would be wrong of me not to kind of flag up our Innovation Festival. So innovation is something we're really proud of in Northumbria Water. And back in 2017, we ran our first festival. And if you've not been to one, which I haven't, and I'm very excited to be going this year, it's a bit like Glastonbury meets Tomorrow World, but with a bit of British Bake Off on the side. So it's a really fun but really productive event. It's grown over the years. Last year was the 6th festival, and the reason why I haven't been before, I only joined Northumbrian Water this year, so that's the reason why I've not been. But last year we had over 2,000 attendees from 38 different countries, all across the world. So it's a global event. We've really bring lots of people in. But the theme for this year is citizens, and it's really trying to reflect the superpower that's our community. And we've heard a lot kind of about community today. And it's about communities coming together and achieving the impossible. And there's 2, what we call sprints, which are kind of focus things to try and help solve a problem, which I wanted to just flag up to you. One of these is our wonderful waterways, and that's looking at our People's Plan for Nature, and really trying to delve into how we can work together to ensure we've got healthy rivers and wetlands, but balancing the needs of others as well. And then the second one is focusing on a particular area, which is the Skern catchment, and that's about how we can collaborate across different sectors to really bring the benefit to the Skern, bring into life those catchment and nature-based solutions. So if you're interested in any of those, please sign up and register. It's still open for registration at the moment. It's a really fun event. So hopefully that's given you a bit of a flavour of what Northumbrian Water have been doing and what we are intending to do, and how important the environment is in the work that we do. So thank you very much.